Hello and welcome to this edition of ONTV News. I'm Kayla Brandon. 2 years ago, an Orion Township couple faced a crossroads in their life. Would they leave the state or start a new business venture? Fate would intervene at a Chamber of Commerce networking event, and the result is a brand new business that has celebrated its grand openings with a ribbon-cutting ceremony right here in Orion Township. The Great Harvest Bread Company is a nationwide franchise with about 220 stores across the country. Its newest location opened its doors in mid-October at Baldwin and Clarkston Roads, across the street from Friendship Park. The owners are Orion residents, Louise and Jim Westcott, who realized that there hasn't been a bakery in Lake Orion in more than 30 years. Louise Westcott told us what customers can expect once they've been drawn inside by the aroma of fresh baked bread.
It's a whole experience, really. We mill the wheat from the wheat berries right in the store from a mill, and everything is handcrafted from scratch right in the store. They can actually watch the kneading take place and the put together of the bread. And we also carry the sweets, scones and muffins and cookies, other sweet breads and things that come out of the oven first thing in the morning when we open at 7. And we have a whole line of coffee as well. And we also carry lots of different sandwiches that are made with the homemade bread.
On Tuesday, October 23rd, representatives from the township, the Lake Orion DDA, and the Chamber of Commerce converged on the new business to celebrate its grand opening with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. Once inside, visitors were drawn to the breadboard, where they were invited to sample the loaves that were available that day. The environment of the bakery is a throwback to simpler times and contributes to the area's small-town charm.
Oh, we're so happy for all the support and all the enthusiasm from everyone, from both organizations, from the entire community. It's just overwhelming. It really is wonderful.
It takes you back. It's
definitely
really just so wonderful to be here, and it just kind of reinforces our decision to stay in our own hometown and to bring something here that's something that obviously people are looking forward to, and they've been very happy with the fact that we're here.
The owners plan to expand the menu soon to include soups and salads, among other menu items. Currently, different kinds of bread and sweets are offered on different days, so you may want to phone ahead to see what's available on any given day. For more information, visit the website at greatharvestlakeorion.com. The Lake Orion High School Thespians will soon be back on stage with a production that is in many ways experimental. The Thespians will be performing the play, My Boyfriend's Bicycles. The play is about an assistant professor named Maya, who since going through an awful divorce, now gains new boyfriends and convinces them to buy her bicycles, only to leave them and ride off on her new bike. Maya then reconnects with a former student of hers that slowly becomes the voice of reason in her life. The production was picked for that incredible learning experience that it could provide the high schoolers. Since the play was actually written by Nina Wright, a local author, they have access to her for her insight while bringing her work to life on stage. The Thespians have also learned the process of writing and publishing a play. Another reason Thespian supervisor Leanne Lowe chose My Boyfriend's Bicycles was because she wanted the actors to work harder to relate to their characters. The Thespians will perform My Boyfriend's Bicycles on November 15th, 16th, and 17th at the Lake Orion High School Auditorium. The lobby will open at 6:30 p.m. on the 15th, so the audience can meet and mingle with Nina Wright before the show. Due to some mature material, the show is intended for high school and up. With the 2012 presidential election just around the corner, the Orion Art Center had an idea for a political art exhibit. What emerged was Right and Left, the visual poetry of politics. The event kicked off on Saturday, October 20th, with an opening reception and ran through Sunday. The exhibit was held next to Diamond Dave's on Lapeer Road in downtown Lake Orion. Artists include Fred Zilger, Shoei Howie, Will Haverty, and others. The concept was to display static art from all sides of the political spectrum in order to create a visual dialogue of politics.
We're at Diamond Dave's here. My name is Shoei, and this is space is being lent to us from the Orion Art Center to have this exhibit, and we have our holiday exhibit here too, and sale. The idea of this was to have all different points of view in this election year, and to be able to express that in a way that artists express themselves, not the way we have all the rhetoric and the mudslinging and that kind of thing, but the way that we communicate. And a lot of independent voters understand that better than a lot of the campaign literature. So the idea was to have this dialogue, and we contacted a lot of the parties I didn't even know existed. We called, and we kind of ended up with a one-sided show, and I was a little disappointed in that, but it's been a good show. This is the last day. We had one of the Michigan Supreme Court candidates come in yesterday, and this morning we had Andy Meisner, who is the Oakland County Treasurer, and we discussed his financial literacy and art project. He has a gallery online, and we'll be connecting with him and doing more work with that. We'll also be doing more work with people outstate, getting involved in some of the Detroit art scene, and really expanding our influence and our dialogue with other artists.
The Orion Art Center is looking for entries into their 6th annual Portraits and Pottery Show. The exhibits begin on November 7th and run until December 12th. For more information on this or other upcoming events, visit the Orion Art Center website at orionartcenter.org or call them at 248-693-4986. The Lake Orion Marching Dragons excelled in the Bands of America tournament. The band competed against bands from 7 other states at the Pontiac Silverdome. The Dragons finished first in the music category and second in the marching category. They were also placed 2nd overall of the 18 bands competing. The LOHS Marching Band will be performing at 2 more marching band competitions before the Flight 1 band goes to Ford Field for the state finals on November 3rd. Flight 1 performances begin at 7:30 p.m., but more exact times will be known later. For more information on upcoming performances, visit lodragons.org. The CN Railroad will close Joslyn Road between Brown and Silver Bell Road in Orion Township. The closure will be to repair 2 railroad crossings. During the closure, a detour will route traffic through Brown Road to Giddings Road to Silver Bell and back to Joslyn and vice versa. The closure will begin on November 5th and go to November 9th. Lake Orion will be seeing different garbage trucks next month. Richfield Equities, which has been hauling Lake Orion's trash, compost, and recycling since 2008, has filed for bankruptcy. The Oakland County accounts are expected to be purchased by Rizzo Environmental Services, which is a Sterling Heights-based company. Dan Garman, a liaison between communities and waste haulers, hopes Rizzo can take over the contracts on November 9th, which is when residents can be expected to see the different trucks. Rizzo was almost chosen for the township's contracts 3 years ago due to their good reputation in the industry, but did not have quite as good of a bid as Richfield did at the time. Residents should expect to receive the same services as before, and this switch should happen without delay of any service. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll have a special report from Joe Johnson on the charitable work done by one local business. Stay tuned.
Hey, this is Mickey York from Fox Sports Detroit. When I want to get the inside scoop on local sports, I watch Between Terminus or Fox Sports Detroit.
Prescription drug abuse is a national epidemic. The new in way to obtain drugs is through parents' or grandparents' medicine chests. Removing prescriptions from your cabinet is the best way to keep drugs out of the hands of our young people. We've got to work together to protect our teens, our seniors, and our environment. Clean out your medicine cabinet today. Please participate in Operation Medicine Cabinet and drop off your unwanted or expired prescriptions at one of our law enforcement drop-off sites in Oakland County. We can't ignore this situation anymore.
Welcome back to ONTV News. I'm Kayla Brandon. In conjunction with Veterans Day, which is just a few weeks away, the Home Depot Foundation was hoping to help out an Orion area resident who served our country. Instead, they were directed to a family of a veteran who has recently passed away. Joe Johnson brings us this touching story.
On October 17th and 18th, a group of hard-working volunteers converged on this home in Lake Orion to do some major remodeling. The home belongs to the Levens family. Kenny Levens, a World War II veteran, passed away in May. His widow, Linda, and their daughter, Carol, continue to live in the home, which had fallen into a state of disrepair since Kenny's passing. The Home Depot Foundation contacted the Lake Orion American Legion, hoping to connect with a local veteran who could benefit from some assistance. When the Legion told them the story of the Levens family, the foundation sprung into action. Employees from 8 different Home Depot stores volunteered their time over the course of several days to give interior rooms a fresh coat of paint. Plumbing and electrical were serviced, new appliances were delivered and installed, and a wheelchair-accessible ramp was built leading up to the home's entrance. The work was made possible thanks to a $10,000 grant from the foundation. The project was spearheaded by Team Depot District Community Captain Alana Hart, who works at the Lake Orion store on M24.
We come into the nonprofits or a residential home in this case, and we really determine what we can do in 2 days and what we know our volunteers' abilities are. Everybody that works here yesterday, today, all of us are volunteers, whether you took the day off or you took an extra vacation day. We are all here on our own time. This is truly what Home Depot believes in, is giving back, building community relationships, and making that emotional connection. So how we determine it, though, is really what we can fit in 2 days in our abilities. So we know our volunteers' abilities, you know, what would stretch it or what would make it longer than 2 days.
Although more work still needed to be done, Kenny's widow, Linda Levens, returned to her home on October 18th and seemed overjoyed after seeing the renovations that had taken place.
I couldn't believe it. All those people that do all this volunteer work, and I always cry every time I think about it, that they selected us, the veterans. I want to thank God and everybody and all the people that work so hard. It's just wonderful, and I really enjoy it. And I want to thank everybody for their great work and their dedication to everything. Because you must have dedication to do that volunteer work for nothing, you know. Thank you for, I never thought I could get anything like that. And I always have to cry. I always cry.
This is our passion. This is what we love to do. And if giving back it's the least we can do. And in this case, for Linda and Carol, what their dad and husband did for our country, this is just a drop in the bucket. I can't say thank you enough or give enough. The only thing we can do is volunteer our time and make her life better.
The Levens home was the first residential property the team from the Lake Orion Home Depot had ever worked on, but it was one of thousands of projects benefiting veterans across the country through the efforts of the Home Depot Foundation. In Lake Orion, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ONTV News.
Thanks, Joe. Halloween is right around the corner, and kids got the chance to dress up, trick or treat, and enjoy some fall fun at Orion Township's Boo Bash. The spirit of Halloween filled the Orion Center Friday, October 19th, where ghouls, ghosts, and magic were around every corner. From its beginnings in 2008, when it was at Friendship Park, Orion Township's annual Boo Bash has grown, selling over 100 tickets this Halloween season. The $10 admission fee covered the supplies for the occasion and raised funds for future events. Festivities were held in the Orion Center for the first time, sheltering attendees from the drizzling rain of autumn. ONTV spoke with Parks and Rec programmer Aaron Watley for more details on this spooky happening.
We have carnival games, hay wagon ride, pumpkin patch, arts and crafts, trick or treat street, a bunch of volunteers coming from everywhere to help out, so it's great. Yeah, everybody seems to be very enthusiastic about it and pleased. It looks great, so a lot of new people coming into the building, which is a big benefit.
like about the pumpkin?
Taking one out.
For more spooky Halloween activities, downtown Lake Orion will be throwing a Halloween extravaganza and parade. Children of all ages are invited to these festivities to dress up in their costume and walk through the historic downtown area. The parade will run south on Broadway and go through downtown until they reach the end point at Children's Park. After the Halloween parade, the children can trick-or-treat through downtown Lake Orion. Cider and donuts will also be served at Children's Park. The event is on October 30th, and the parade lineup will begin at 5:45 p.m. at the corner of Lapeer and Elizabeth Street across from the Eamon Center. The parade will begin at 6 p.m. We're going to step aside again, but when we return, Ian Locke will catch us up on local sports. You're watching ONTV News. Stay tuned.
Hey, this is Mickey York from Fox Sports Detroit. When I want to get the inside scoop on local sports, I watch Between Terminus or Fox Sports Detroit.
Prescription drug abuse is a national epidemic. The new in way to obtain drugs is through parents' or grandparents' medicine chests. Removing prescriptions from your cabinet is the best way to keep drugs out of the hands of our young people. We've got to work together to protect our teens, our seniors, and our environment. Clean out your medicine cabinet today. Please participate in Operation Medicine Cabinet and drop off your unwanted or expired prescriptions at one of our law enforcement drop-off sites in Oakland County. We can't ignore this situation anymore.
Welcome back to ONTV News. And now to Ian Locke with our weekly sports roundup.
Thank you, Kayla. We begin with Dragon football. After losing for the first time in the season to the Clarkston Wolves, the Dragons went on the road for their OAA crossover game against the Farmington Falcons. The Falcons entered the game with a 6-2 record and tied with the Oxford Wildcats for second place in the OAA White. Lake Orion was looking for a quick start after last week's loss, but Farmington was able to pull ahead early in the first quarter. The Falcons got on the board first after a 21-yard fumble recovery by Curtis Brunson. An extra point attempt was no good. They would score again in the first, this time on a 4-yard run by Jordan DeGreffenried. They would attempt a 2-point conversion, but come up short. Farmington led 12-0 at the end of the first quarter. Farmington would score again in the second on a Kyle Collins 13-yard pass to Connor Moore. Again, they would fail on the conversion. Lake Orion would finally get on the board in the second on an 80-yard TD pass from Derek DeLora to Chaz Miller. They would hook up again on a 2-point conversion, making it 18-8. Lake Orion came out looking like a different team in the second half. Including their second quarter TD, they would score 43 unanswered points. In the third quarter, Lake Orion would score on a 27-yard run by Jacob Miller and a 41-yard run by Corey Esther. They scored 3 times in the fourth quarter, twice on runs by Jacob Miller, including a 92-yard scamper. Lake Orion wins 43-18. The Dragons totaled 284 yards on the ground and improved their regular season record to 8-1. The Falcons fall to 6-3. Both teams advance to the postseason. Lake Orion draws a 6-3 Stevenson team, while the Falcons head on the road to face Walled Lake Western, who finished the regular season at 7-2. ONTV will be on hand to cover any home playoff games for the Dragons. You can catch this weekend's matchup against Stevenson beginning on October 30th at 7 p.m. right here on Comcast Channel 10 or AT&T UVerse Channel 99. You can also watch the game on demand on our YouTube channel. Visit OrionOnTV.org and click on the YouTube link. On to varsity swimming. On Tuesday, October 16th, the lady swimmers and divers celebrated senior night by recognizing them as they finished their last dual meet with the Dragon swimmers and divers. The 5 seniors are Courtney McClear, Katie Corcoran, Sarah Haddon, Maria Gonzalez Rodriguez, and Hannah Wilgars. The team lost to Rochester Adams by a score of 106-80, giving the team an overall record of 5-4 and 5-1 in the OAA White Division, and share of the OAA White Division Dual Meet Championship. It was an exciting evening with Courtney McClear qualifying for the state championships in the 100 breaststroke and a team of Bethany Abramczyk, Lydia Matter, Daniel Kudla, and Kristen Abassi breaking the 200 medley relay varsity record with a time of 1:52.86 and qualifying for the MHSAA State Swing and Diving Championships as well. The swimming and diving team is getting prepared to host the OAA White Division League Championships starting on October 31st through November 2nd. The starting time for each night is 5 p.m. We encourage all of you to come out to cheer on the swimmers. Congratulations to all the swimmers and divers for a successful season so far. And now on to varsity volleyball. The Lady Dragons traveled to Clarkston on Thursday, October 18th to face off against their OAA Red rival. The winner would walk away with the OAA Red Division Championship. Clarkston was hoping for a repeat of last year when they defeated Lake Orion on their home court in 5 sets to take home the title. Lake Orion narrowly beat Clarkston in Game 1, 25-20. Clarkston would rebound, however, and handily beat Lake Orion in Game 2, 25-11. Game 3 was a tight one, but Clarkston held on to win 25-23, taking a 2-1 advantage. Game 4 looked to be all Lake Orions when they took an early 11-3 lead, but Clarkston was able to fight back, tying late with the Dragons at 21. Lake Orion prevailed, though, scoring the final 4 points, winning 21-25 and forcing a Game 5. Game 5 was a nail-biter, but Clarkston was able to pull ahead in the end to win 18-16. Clarkston finishes division play with a perfect 8-0 record, while the Lake Orion Dragons fall to 7-1. Clarkston wins the red title for the 6th consecutive year. Tess Marshall turned a strong performance with 22 kills and 22 digs. Sophie Murdoch had 11 kills and Sabrina Cottrell had 30 assists. Although Clarkston walks away the red champion, Lake Orion is hoping for a repeat of last year when Lake Orion lost the regular season title game but defeated Clarkston in the state semifinals. This year, Lake Orion and Clarkston are in the same region, so Lake Orion won't have to wait as long to possibly face Clarkston again. Now on to varsity soccer. The boys' varsity soccer team was on the road for the first 2 rounds of district competition. The Dragons bounced back in the regular season after going 0-4 to start their 2012 campaign. The Dragons had a first-round bye but faced a familiar rival in Clarkston in the second round. The Dragons battled the Wolves to a stunning 2-1 win and advancing to face Grand Blanc, who took down the host team Oxford 1-0 in the second round. The Dragons struck first on a goal 12 yards out by Alan Carip on a feed from Justin Anderson at the 26:34 mark of the first. The Dragons continued to pressure Grand Blanc and broke through on a Justin Anderson goal to make it 2-0 Dragons. But Grand Blanc came roaring back on the back of senior captain Dominic Mastro Mateo, who would net 2 stunning goals, one at 5:43 and the other at 49 seconds left in the half to tie it at 2. Grand Blanc would take the lead early in the second, but Carip would tally his second goal of the game to tie it 3-3. The tension grew as the time wound down on the game clock. Grand Blanc would pull ahead for good, though, with just 56 seconds to go on a laser shot 25 yards out from Nick Berklick. The Dragons finished the season 10-10-3, while Grand Blanc sits at 13-6-2 and move on to the regionals. Dragon soccer fans should be encouraged by the play of these tough competitors down the stretch. That's all for Dragon Sports. We'll see you next week with highlights and coverage from the LOHS football playoff game against Stevenson. For ONTV News, I'm Ian Locke.
That's it for this edition of ONTV News. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Kayla Brandon. Thanks for watching.